X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse. Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercuts!
Hello and welcome to the JabJab show. This is the idea of this little segment you're watching here right now live is just an introduction to a film review. One of the early film reviews. At the time I didn't have any kind of intro and outro ideas and so on, so this is just going to be kind of bunged at the start of it and let's see what happens. So bear with me, and we'll get there. I mean, I'm aware the sound quality and the visuals might be a bit rubbish compared to now. Obviously, you can tell I've got thousands of people behind the camera now watching because it's such a big production. 15 trillion quid worth of production. Anyhow, without further ado and all that, so this is my review for A Thing.
Yeah, it's time for an X-Men Apocalypse review. Spoiler free, stop panicking. If you haven't seen the film, doesn't matter. I'll tell you my views and stuff. To be honest, I don't get a lot of the hate that's out there. I don't feel it's fatigue with comic book films because there are loads of them coming out, and Marvel got their shits on up for the next 10-15 years, and Fox and the other studios are following suit, and yeah, and so forth. So, but at the moment, some people I guess are done with superhero films. The reason I don't feel it's not a universal thought is because Civil War had come out and it's got universal across the board great reviews, good reviews and stuff, which I feel personally well justified. Anyhow, on with my thing. So going into it, I don't like to know a lot about the film and so on, the reviews and so on. I say I read one, I've subsequently read more, watched more since watching the film. I've not changed my stance on this. So don't think I'm like, I'm going with a general consensus, because I'm really not. I'm quite positive about the film. I quite like the film. I've got my notes here, so I'm going to glance down now and again. So the story basically, it's set about 10 years after Days of the Future Past. There's the first mutant that they call Apocalypse that comes to the fore. He comes out and he's getting up with his minions, his 4 horsemen. And it's gonna create a new kind of world and whatever, and the X-Men are there to basically stop him. That's in a nutshell what the story's about. Obviously, there's obviously more things to be involved and stuff, but that's a general, in a nutshell, kind of thing what's happening. So they got to stop Apocalypse. Now, as I've probably mentioned or will mention in future videos and stuff about comic book films. I mean, I'm not well read on comic book films, comic books. I've read certain bits and what have you. So going into this, I thought apocalypse. You think of the word apocalypse and what it means and stuff. It's a day. It's a big fucking theme. It's like it's going all Old Testament on him. Got a lot of destruction. That certainly going by the trailer. There's a lot of things going to blow up and shit happening and stuff. I'm thinking, like with like Batman, Superman, when you saw Doomsday in the trailer, I thought, for fuck's sake, Doomsday is such a big deal with Superman, the history of Superman and so on, and Darkseid, and where they're going to go further from there. That's what I'm thinking with going into X-Men Apocalypse. Where they're going to go. They've had a big fucking godlike mutant. He's got all his powers and stuff. He can do, he do everything he can do. Where do they go from here? Now, there's a teaser at the end, which you expect from a Marvel film. There's a teaser that, hints at a certain character. I didn't know who this character was at the time. I've since been told, and I've looked online, so okay, it kind of makes sense. But again, comic book fans might say yes, a good thing, a bad thing, whatever. But it is what it is. They're gonna continue on with stuff, which which is good. My overall view of the film was very good. Not perfect, you know, but it's very good. Again, I'm looking at stuff now, and what surprised me, it does now and again pepper the film with some body horror in there. You know, the transformation of Angel. It's kind of it pushes the 12A quite a bit sometimes. I found, you know, with this film, if you've seen the trailers and so on, you know there's a ton of like new character, or at least new cast of the characters. Now I think some of these are really well cast, and the play the characters really well, and some are a little sidelined. I think they were a little kind of, because the danger is when you've got so many characters either to introduce or at least new cast as established characters, you can kind of lose some in the process. They like go into the background and so on, and they're just there stood about. And I did think throughout this film there were certain characters who were kind of like a bit passive in it, not as in they're not fighting or anything, just they didn't have much to do. Now that's me. That's balancing. That's a balancing act they've got to do with it. I felt Cyclops' his character arc, if you will, was pretty good, but there was a little jump I thought narratively in his arc. I don't know if there's a deleted scene in there, but I thought he'd going for one thing, then suddenly he's this other thing. No, I'm not saying like physical transformation. I'm talking about in his character. I thought Jean Grey, Sophie Turner played Jean Grey really well. I personally liked her a lot in the role, because obviously in the comic books and in the film she's a big deal basically. I like Nightcrawler. I liked him. Cody Spit McPhee as Spit McPhee. That was an Australian TV drama from years ago. Smith McPhee. I think Cody Smith. Anyway, the guy played Nightcrawler. Really well done. And you know, it's one of them. Obviously, he was they used the character in X-Men 2, and there is callback to the first two X-Men films, particularly the second one. Which I found cool. I'm not going to spoil which bits of I found replicated. Psylocke and Angel. Also, and there's also Storm, and there's Jubilee shouldn't really do much in this film. I don't know. Again, I'm going to talk about things like this later in the review. But basically, yeah, I think some of them were sidelined, particularly at the end battle. Not really sure about some motivation, but the main bad guy, Apocalypse was, I thought he played well. Oscar Isaac, obviously versatile actor. Anyone knows of him. Know he's a good actor and stuff. The writing, I guess, kind of forced some characters to have more screen time, more things to do, more active than other characters, and I think there's a balancing issue, certainly towards the end. Callback to X-Men 1 and 2, and there is a nice little dig at X-Men 3, because X-Men 3, New Last Stand, is considered not very good, basically. Among just X-Men fans, for a number of reasons. I might go into it into another video, but basically there's a scene where the couple of new come out of the watching Return of the Jedi, and talk about which one's better, and there's a line at the end of this scene saying, the third one's are always the worst. Again, Quicksilver is in this film, obviously, don't want to spoil it, you've seen the trailers. And I thought maybe they're going to overuse him, because for me, one of the highlights of Days of Future Past was the use of Quicksilver. Now, I'll get straight off the bat, I think Quicksilver was utilised better in Days of Future Past than they did in Age of Ultron, personally speaking. And in this film, yeah, alright. I did like him. I liked him a lot. There's a scene where they use the same kind of effect they did in the kitchen scene in Days of Future Past. They use that same kind of thing. It's really, I liked it a lot, to be honest. I liked it a lot, and he's in it a bit more, because in Days of Future Past he does his thing, he saves Magneto, does this thing, then just goes. Then like half an hour later he's seen watching TV, something like that. It's like, really, he could have really helped them in things, but story dictates that he needs to go for reasons I didn't find kind of useful enough or whatever, But in this film, he sticks around a lot more, and he's good. They don't overuse the whole kind of speed thing. They don't overuse it. I don't think they did. I think it ups the ante, which which is a good thing, I think. But the recurring characters, Michael Fassbender, Dane McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, and Nicholas Hoult has a respective Magneto. I don't know if it's the same order. Magneto, Xavier, Beast, and Mystique. Yes, obviously it's Mystique. They all played well. I got no problems with them. The chemistry and all that, it's established now. I think they've got very good work together. They're good actors, aren't they? So they work well together. They've got a bit of Magneto. They've got a lot of emotional stuff with him. And I'm not going to ruin it. If you've seen the trailers for this film, there's a bit where Quicksilver says, "Oh, he's my father." So I'm not spoiling anything for you if you watch the trailers. So they cut to it. One of the themes in the X-Men films, well, certainly in this film as well, is the theme of family. And there's a for me, touchy moments with certain characters about family. Like I say, with Quicksilver, Magneto, and the themes running around. I thought it was really good. I thought I like them kind of scenes. It's not all just throwing shit everywhere, which we'll get on to. Yeah, how they deal with Apocalypse. So they all go and find Apocalypse where he's doing, and he's doing a certain thing, and they need to locate him and stop him doing this certain thing, by a certain time and what have you. So they have a big throwdown, of people fighting other people, characters fighting other characters, and so on. I had well, not so much fear. I'm not scared of it. What's a brave man? But that they're gonna use a certain character or certain characters to defeat Apocalypse. Now, like I say, I've not read the comics. I don't know how true it is to the comics or anything. Maybe someone comment below. If they're quite close to it. But basically, they didn't do what I thought they might do, considering how this new trilogy has pushed certain characters to the front, and relegated some characters. They didn't do that. Again, it might be the comic books didn't do that, so they're not doing this. How it transpired kind of made more sense to me, if you know what I mean. Like, if you watch the films, certain powers, certain characters, and so on, it made more sense to me the way they did it, what they did. I don't know if that makes any kind of English there. So I think I was on film for a couple of days before I watched the film. Bryan Singer, there was an interview with him, and one of the things he was saying was he wanted people who hadn't seen an X-Men film to be accessible to them. They don't know anything about the X-Men, they don't know this or that. I was thinking towards the end of the big fight and everything that's happening towards the end, it did take me out a little bit with the whole things, and I was just thinking, well, I'm not sure if anyone who's completely new to this franchise, this film, this kind of world, I think it might alienate them a little bit. I mean, I don't know, there's someone commenting and stuff, but I'm thinking maybe these powers are so weird to some people. It's difficult for me to put myself in that position as an completely objective, fresh set of eyes onto the X-Men world, but I'm thinking, because of all this stuff happening, because there's a lot of there's a lot of kind of pun intended, it's quite cerebral, some of the stuff towards the end. It's like getting into each other's minds, and just not so much just like Cyclops or someone just a big fucking beam of light, fire bursting through people and the fast force fields and stuff. But in terms of just using the mind to control shit and shit happening, fucking big dust and debris and everything, I think might be, I don't know, maybe too weird. I don't know if I was reading too much into it, but I was thinking maybe it's a little too alienating perhaps to a lot of people, because it's not a straight up fist fight. It's not just two guys in a bar just winging at each other. Yeah, fuck it.
So them's my opinion. What's yours? Just let me know below, and like, comment, subscribe down there. Yeah, not pointing out a rude thing. I'm talking about the comment section. So yeah, let me know what you reckon, and tell your friends and everything. And in the words of the new Cyrus, send the word.